Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Warhammer 40k Mechanicus, where it's time to start our first real missions. Let's see what jobs we are being offered here. What needs doing? We could go into the Killing Jar. Why wouldn't we want to do that? Tech Acquisitor Scaevola wishes to begin her research into the secrets of the Necrons and has asked for the specimens of the enemy to be gathered from the tomb. So, if we collect some Necron samples, we will get the plans for a Volkite Blaster, that is a lot of cognition points to fire that. But 9 to 11 damage straight up is pretty cool, and when the Machine Spirit is angered, it doesn't cost any cognition. That's alright. The Omnispecs can make an enemy more likely to miss you. What do we get from the other one? Here, from the Winds of Change, Lector Dogmatis Videx has requested the deployment of a sensor servitor to fumigate the tomb of Agrelek and cleanse its spiritual corruption. Yeah, it's like an air freshener kind of situation. Sure, why wouldn't that work? That makes sense to me. So we get a thing that lets us heal our guys at no cost. Healing is a little bit more important in this game than it is in some other games of this type due to the fact that health does not reset at the end of each combat. And a different healing thing. You know what? I kind of think we want to pick up some ability to equip healing items. Let's do this. So here we get to choose which tech priests and troops to take on the mission. Alright, well, obviously we're going to take all of our tech priests, and then we're going to grab ourselves some servitors. So you can see, it costs 0 Blackstone to bring servitors, but that implies that there will be a cost to the other troop types once we pick them up. And I guess at some point we'll unlock the rest of the slots in the Arvis transport. For now, the only canticle we have is the Litany of Life here, but remember, we're going to do our best not to have to use it, because I'd really like to get through these first 3 missions without spending any, so that we can unlock the physical damage boost. I called you here, Lector Dogmatis Videx, because your knowledge of spiritual matters and the cult Mechanicus will be crucial in dealing with any moral threats on Silva Tenebris. I have 543,021 works of scripture stored for rapid context topical retrieval. There is no obstacle beyond my capacity to counsel you on. That seems like a bad use of a machine brain. There are so many better things you could do with that. Unnecessary use of cogitator power. Waste of resources, Videx. Insufficient use. Go to Augmatic Bay for improvements. Alright, Scaevola and I get Scaevola. We're like this. We understand each other. I just did a hand motion that you guys can't see. The Xenos tomb is revealed to us as a great hungry maw that seeks to consume our very purity. Blasphemy reeks from every corner of the tomb of Agrelek. Most poetic, Lector Dogmatis. Alright, I guess. Perhaps their understanding of poetry is a little different than ours. Your thoughts on how to proceed? I shall take my cues from the writings of Archmagos Veneratus Hieraticus. Let the stench of corruption be swept aside by the sweet winds of faith. One of my censor servitors will cleanse the spiritual corruption with blessed incense. Then deploy one immediately. I don't know if this is... This seems like, seems like a silly thing to do. But alright. If Videx is holding back the plans for the Healy machines, and he's willing to give them to us if we run his air freshener around the tomb, I am willing to do that. The sensor servitor is deployed at the tomb entrance, Magus. I am ready to send it on its way. Halt, Subdomina. The sensor servitor is a delicate piece of machinery. It is ill-suited to hostile territory. Avalornians 591. Fragile indeed are the tools of the righteous. It must be escorted on its sacred duty. Don't be ridiculous. Every step we take in the tomb risks the lives of our personnel. If the spiritual integrity of the mission truly is at stake, Subdomina Kepra, it is worth the risk. And I assure you, it most definitely is. I've already sent a team ahead. I foresaw your emotional connection to your troops, Kepra. If you are ever to be a Dominus, I must show you how to command. There's a lot of chatting here, for not really moving the story forward very much. The Xenos corruption will destroy us as surely as the gun's the enemy. I don't know. Very well. His will be done. I think Videx is crazy. We seem to have machined out a lot of the important parts of his brain. So, this is where we're actually headed. I'm a little curious about what we have over here at the Necron room. This could just be an indication that there are enemies in this room, but it seems like the indication that there are enemies in the room is the red wireframes, right? So, I think we should head in that direction. Menials shall be ritually chastised for this maintenance failure. It is imperative to get the servitor functioning again quickly. Neo-Dogmatic 7190. If his will be done, let it be done quickly. What's wrong with the thing? It stops moving and starts belching pungent smoke. Isn't that what we brought it here to do? The runes of attention are blinking on its chassis, indicating several key systems require maintenance. Oh no, the check engine light came on. Nobody ever knows what that means. Alright, well, we could perform the entire rite of refurbishment, including the incantation of 7 diagnostic processes, and, of course, the addendum fabricatoris, who could possibly forget. We could just perform the ritual of replacement, much faster, I assume. Or we could perform the most perfunctory rites of repairing. Well, obviously, it would be best if we actually fixed the thing. But we don't want to waste too much time here, because the longer we spend in here, the more progress the awakening makes. Let's try going for the middle road. The repairs are made to the servitor. Thorough repairs are made to the servitor, but it takes time the mission can ill afford. So we have up here this awake level. That's maybe not the smoothest possible terminology for that. You can see it's creeping up. This functions a little bit like the alarm system in Invisible Ink. It just goes up over time, and then certain actions you take may increase it more. And the higher it gets, the harder the level becomes. Or the harder this particular mission becomes, I should say. Oh, our presence has been detected. Also, man, Invisible Ink is a very good game. The Necrons are waking in response to our presence within the tomb. As you travel through each tomb, defense systems will start activating. This increases the difficulty of the mission. The longer you spend in a tomb, the harder the mission becomes. Exploring the depths of the tomb isn't without reward. There are unknown amounts of lost knowledge to be found for those willing to dig deeper. Yeah, so we're going to have to be pretty smart about how we spend our time, I guess, because obviously we want to run around in here and get Blackstone. The quicker we get the Blackstone, the more powerful we become, but there's that overall awakening level trade-off. A single port designed for a Necron canoptic creature extrudes from the device. Do I want to touch that? Boy, okay, there are 2 buttons here. What do you reckon? This sort of looks like a machine has come up and has plugged into the socket. Oh, hey, yeah, that healed one of my guys. Okay. That's the plug into the socket hieroglyph. Let's remember that for the future. So, I mean, we could pretty easily just go, S-shape around here and then come back out and check out the whole tomb. It's not really that large. It probably wouldn't hurt to explore it fully. Could this be a form of Xenos map room? Most perturbatory. Throne knows what blasphemous notions they had about the stars. Chamber's walls are covered in elaborate star charts, covered in extensive annotations in the Necron language, suggesting they record journeys among the stars. Well, we definitely need to know about this. I know our purpose here is to purify the tomb, but, in a different way. I thought we were just coming down here to make it smell nice. We could ignore them because the intellectual pursuits of the Necrons are of no interest to us. This is probably the Codex-approved option, but I would like to survive, sort of in a long-term way, so why don't we take some pictures here. Pict captures are made of the star maps and uploaded to the cogitators on the Adeptus Mechanicus for study. And hey, cognition points. Right, learning stuff is good. It's sort of at odds with our official dogma, but it's good nonetheless. Honestly, things that are at odds with the Imperium of Man's official dogma are more likely to be good than not, I think. This is no good, Magos. No good at all. The Xenos corruption takes physical form in this murky fog. Can anything be done? We're down here doing it. The noisome miasma of fumes from the Xenos machinery in this area is masking the servitor's sacred incense. Also, that's a very creepy image. Well, we could scour away the corruption with flame. This would probably make Videx feel a little bit better. We just, like, pump the flamethrower once or twice in this room and be like, oh, look, hey, I got it all. We could live with the miasma's presence and hurry through the area, or we could pray. We could pray until this mist goes away. Well, I'll tell you something. There's an old phrase. You pray in one hand and you shoot a flamethrower at the other, and I can't remember how it ends. But the point is, flamethrower. Sayings of Archmagos Cortico, verse 58. Prayer has power, but I cannot deny fire does too. Righteous flame scours away the miasma, allowing the cohort to advance. The sight of sheets of flame burning away the toxic fog is indeed inspiring. Well, if we actually get into a battle at any point during this, we're certainly well prepared. I really like this, Okay, we hit level 2, so there's going to be extra Necrons when we do encounter them. I really like this idea of gathering a battle level resource throughout the mission, so that if you understand what's going on a sort of a game mechanics level, you can prepare for battle by making the right choices in the events and stuff. This is a neat system. This is non-standard behavior, and speaks ill of the menials whose task was to maintain this machine. Maxims of Amalanth 5:12. Beware the deviance of thine own tools, for the enemy finds his entrance thereby. Yeah, it's never Videx's fault, is it? Quite unexpectedly, a previously unused Voxcaster unit pops out of the servitor's face panel. In a synthesized voice, it attempts to engage the cohort in philosophical discussion. I mean, what are the odds that the censor servitor has anything of value to say to us? We could probably just take that out, right? Also, if it's broadcasting, it's going to be alerting nearby Necrons to our presence, or perform a diagnostic to determine the source of this behavior. Yeah, okay, I suppose this is probably the right option. Or we just have a quick philosophical discussion with our smoke machine. Alright, let's figure out what's wrong with it. I think we can afford the time hit. Although, you know what? The reward for doing this is probably just cognition points, which is not actually valuable to us at this point, because we're at the top of our reservoir, so this was probably the wrong call. We will never know who tampered with this machine. If all is right, he suffered punishment for his heresy long ago. Oh, no, I was wrong. Okay, so we've given the initiative bonus, we've given the initiative thing to the Necrons, but we got some Blackstone and the design for an arc rifle. Okay, it has a little bit of, like, chain lightning. That's interesting. Well, that was extremely worth doing, it turns out. So are there no Necrons down here at all, or... I guess we were down here already. This is the same tomb, isn't it? While traversing this chamber, the censor servitor crosses a part of the floor that collapses under the machine's weight. The servitor is trapped at the bottom of a shaft of machinery and pipework and must be extricated. Well, we climb into the hole and haul it out manually. That seems like probably the right play. You could fashion a system of pulleys and ropes to haul the machine out of the hole, but that doesn't really seem necessary. You use pulleys and whatnot to move things that would be cumbersome or maybe impossible to move manually, but we got all these robot limbs and stuff. We should be really good at just hauling the thing out. Or we could exhort the servitor to overload its magnetic levitation circuits. Let's not tell this thing to stress itself any more than it absolutely has to, because it seems like it's on the verge of breaking down already. Just get down there and drag it out. I retrieve the tech principle that a tech priest is above manual labor. Nevertheless, in this case, lowering ourselves to the status of a menial proves to have worked. Let's just say that it does not surprise me at all that Videx never does his own work. It thinks that he is morally above doing his own work. Alright, the Necrons are going to reanimate faster. That would be more of a problem if there were any Necrons anywhere. We did take a little bit of damage doing it, though. Whatever, we'll be fine. I assume there will be Necrons here. Maybe there'll only be one battle on this mission, though. We are still in the easy part of the game, right? Magos, shut this down before the enemy are attracted to the din. But take care not to damage the machine. Is it broadcasting again? It begins emitting a loud blaring noise. Perhaps a form of tampering or damage alarm that has been accidentally tripped. We have messed with it a lot. The noise is accompanied by flashing lights and random bursts of extremely pungent incense. Ignore the noise because there's no time to deal with this problem. No, I'm fine with fixing it. Destroy the offending units on the servitor. I do not want to break the servitor. I mean, this is what we've been doing so far, and it seemed to have worked out fine. Let's diagnose and fix. This is kind of our whole deal, right? As the Adeptus Mechanicus. The cohort expect the diagnostic to take some time, but quickly notice a cranial probe improperly jammed into one of the cortical sockets. Once this is removed, the servitor's non-standard behavior ceases, and the cohort has a new appreciation for the proper maintenance and function of such machines. Hard to imagine that we wouldn't already have been at maximum appreciation, again, given our cult status and everything. Alright, well, when they said on the mission description that this was going to be easy, they weren't lying. What have we? Is it just a pair of Necron warriors? Huh. Oh, there is something else going on here. What are you? Well, it doesn't have a name tag over its head. We can see its health without needing to scan it. I'm sure it's not dangerous, whatever it is. And also, it looks like there's some kind of teleport pad, or I don't know what... Maybe this is just a platform that moves? Yeah, because otherwise it would be teleporting you to open air and dropping you into a pit. Okay, well... This doesn't seem like a very complicated battle strategically. Oh, except I forgot that the Necron have initiative. If I had remembered that, I probably would have started further back, but it looks like it's probably for the best that I didn't. Alright, what exactly is this thing? Oh, alright, it's full of blackstone. I'm down with that. So we want to get over to this other one then. I cannot scan it from a distance. Okay, let's shoot. Our phosphor blast pistol reveals the target's statistics. So I want to shoot one of these Necrons, and then servo-skull the other one with this character so that we have them all lit up. And then we can use the other guy's servo-skull to, like, grab cognition points if we need them or something. I'm definitely going to move again after this, so... we will have use for a little more. Okay, neither one of them actually has any, resistances at all. Boy, this really is an easy mission. Okay, full damage. Excellent. Then I guess I want to stand next to this guy just to make it difficult for him to move around. And I'm gonna have this unit get on the movie platform because I want that. I want the other Blackstone. Oh, I guess we both have the phosphor pistol. I didn't really need to scan that guy. We also don't actually need to use the servo-skull because we're gonna get another cognition point for free. We could just save it in case anything else shows up. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Oh, the awakening meter keeps filling in battle. That's interesting. Alright, well that works pretty much like I thought it would. Okay, there are more warriors arriving. Do we want to bring in some troops? Yeah, I might not be able to kill this guy with just Jeremiah. We'll bring in one servitor. Ah, yes. All weapons have sacred machine spirits within them, so you can see the bar is full. This thing is ready to go. The more you use a weapon, the more charged it becomes. When a machine spirit is charged, you'll gain a buff to the attack of that weapon. Each machine spirit will charge at a different rate, shown underneath the weapon's icon, and when you select the weapon, you can see the buff the machine spirit gives it. So here... actually, it doesn't seem to gain any buff from the machine spirit. Or maybe it doesn't show it the way I'm expecting it to be shown when you're actually charged. Okay, the destroy armor thing only happens when it's charged. Also, I didn't until just this moment realize that the power axe is spending a cognition point. I think we want to keep him right where he is, right? Ow, hey, didn't I have energy armor last mission? Come on, servitor, get him. Okay, good stuff. Not really a lot for this guy to do, unfortunately. I can just have him move over here, and next turn he can wipe out that guy. You need to get over here and scan this thing. Alright, so what does the machine spirit in my pistol do? Oh, I think it causes it to do an extra point of damage, it looks like, because I think it was 1 to 2 damage before. Well, let's light this guy up. He has 1 physical defense and quite a bit of health. I have the ability to stand over here and not be shootable, I think. I think this thing should provide cover. Pretty sure that's why it's glowing blue like that. And then I can hit the thing that we scanned with the axe. I wonder what happens if we break it. Let's try to find out. Alright, it's got 1 little tap left in it, and we'll just grab ourselves a cognition point, because it kind of looks like they're a source of cognition points that is further from us. No. It looks like we're probably not going to have a lot of new mysterious things occur. Alright, so we'll take these 2 out in a second. Oh. I suppose I could have just gotten on that and ridden it over there. Yeah, we don't need to spend any more points on servitors. We got this under control. How do I want to do this? What is the most efficient way to do this? It looks like we're going to have a hard time getting close enough to this guy to attack him. I suppose I could go after this thing, though. I do not know what happens when we break it, but we're going to find out. So yeah, it's just +1 damage when the machine spirit's active. Alright, let's see. Oh, we reduced the Necron meter by breaking their stuff. Okay, well that's easy enough to do. Oh, I forgot I was going to deal with this other Necron. Well, whatever. We have it under control, I think. I could run back over there, but I can't actually harm him, so... And it looks like these do provide cover, so I'm just going to take cover behind this thing for right now. Alright, well the servitor should definitely break down one of these dudes. And then I think we're just going to move this guy to a position where he can shoot that one. So I'm going to have the servitor approach the remaining Necron warrior. So we burn a cognition point to get the movement to gain 2 cognition points, and then also to finish this guy off before he can get up. This mission was maybe a little bit too easy. I mean, I guess I may as well run this way with this dude as well. How many more cognition points do I want to spend on movement? I can't get to a covered position with the next movement, so I think I'll just wait here for now. Oh, I didn't finish off the other thing. Well, I guess it doesn't really matter in this case, because the mission's over. We're not... Yeah, we definitely don't need more bodies. The mission's over, so we don't really need to reduce the awakening meter. Oh, except it does have some long-term consequences, doesn't it? So, this guy has 8 health left. 3 to 5 plus 1 to 2. We actually can't kill him with these attacks. So here's my plan. We're going to shoot him with this. We're going to run up and give him the axe. And then depending on the damage that this deals... Oh, we got minimum. That's a little bit of a shame. Well, we still might kill him with a power axe opportunity attack when he tries to move away. I was hoping we would do anything other than minimum damage so that the attack would be lethal. But this'll do. Because I don't actually want to kill him. Yeah, when an enemy moves out of melee range... Oh, he's taking his turn now. I actually don't want to kill him right now. I want him to survive, I guess, because I want to have time to kill off the other Blackstone repository. Each unit can only perform one opportunity attack per round. You can see this guy's trying to walk away, but instead he has been struck in the face with a power axe. Yeah, see, so it gives us all the cognition points from the environment and everything, but it doesn't allow us to destroy the repositories. So reducing the tomb's awake level probably would have been a good idea there. Made a minor error. The sensor servitor reaches a location where the air current through the tomb will take its sacred exudations to every corner of the tomb. The cohort guards it until its incense is fully deployed and can escort it back to the entrance. The sensor servitor has been delivered to the depths of the tomb, Lector Dogmatus. Its sacred incense now permeates all areas of the structure. A positive outcome, Magus. It is right and proper that you see as I do the dangers posed by the corruptive influence of the Xenos, and their various odors. It remains to be seen if the tomb is rendered less dangerous for our troops. At the very least, the place is less malodorous. Boy, I wonder what Necrons smell like. I trust you will continue to consider the alien with the hatred and disdain they deserve, Magus. As we explore this world, remember the words of binary hierarch Gethsemore. The weak in mind will seek to understand the Xenos. The strong in mind will destroy them and bless their ignorance. Again, if you weren't fully sold on we're kind of the bad guys in almost all situations, that should really do it. That should hammer it home. It may seem to you to be incredibly obvious. You're like, why is he hammering on this so much? But I'm hammering on this so much because I have been in spaces where Warhammer was popular, 40k was popular, for a long time, and remarkably, a lot of people seem to miss the core message of the setting. Somehow, they get distracted by how cool Space Marines look, and they get to thinking that Space Marines are a good thing. We got our designs, we got quite a bit of Blackstone, and we've unlocked complete one mission without using a canticle. We're just going to get this thing leveled up as quickly as possible. Well, we certainly have time to do another mission. Let's jump in the cohort here and upgrade our dudes a little bit first. So, boy, it does not make it obvious which one is spec'd in which way. Which guy were we doing which thing with? Because what I really want... Okay, not you. What I really want is to make sure that we get this as quickly as possible. I need more Blackstone to do that upgrade. Really? More than 400. I wish it would show you... It says 134 for next upgrade. Oh, do we have to... I was assuming these were two different optional lines. Maybe we have to go through here. But it doesn't say you haven't unlocked that ability to... You can't spend that yet. It says you need more Blackstone, which is kind of a bad error message if that is indeed the situation. So unlock a unique body part specific to this discipline. 3 HP and an energy armor. 3 is a considerable amount. 3 HP and some movement. 2 HP and an armor. Or, oh, plus 1 damage to all of your weapons. Yep, that's the one. Okay, so that requires an augment slot, but we also gained an augment slot by leveling him up. So now we got the fancy arms. Did that actually make a visible difference? Yeah, it totally did. Every piece of armor actually has art. That's pretty cool. And then, can we do this? Yeah, this only costs 148. The problem wasn't the amount of Blackstone at all. That's a bad error message. Okay, so we got ourselves another augment capacity there, which means we could equip our other rifle. Oh, that takes 2 slots. Interesting. Well, we could pull this guy's power axe because he's kind of like... He's got a thing, right? This is his thing that he does. Plus range on ranged weapons and stuff. Actually, that's pretty cool. I'm down with that. Yeah, we could unplug the glove to put in the axe, but I think I like this specialization for him a little better. And you, Jeremiah, we have just enough Blackstone to buy you a piece of gear as well. 2 HP and a dodge chance, so you end up with basically hit chance rolls from the enemy. 4 HP, 2 HP in movement, a little bit of armor. Armor does seem awfully powerful, given the small amounts of damage that are dealt by most attacks. I also like movement quite a bit, but it doesn't seem like we're hurting for cognition, and we can just spend cognition to get our movement. Let's take the armor. Plus, it looks like a cool mask. Let's see what this actually looks like on him. Yep, that's a good upgrade. Alright, let's go do another thing. What is, well, hold on. Is this the same? Yeah, this is the same. So if we don't, it's not generating new random missions. If we don't move Skivola's line forward, he'll just sit here on this. Or, she, rather. We'll just sit there on that. We could also install a system of Voxcasters to transmit prayers throughout the tomb. Videx is really not interested in fighting any Necron or doing any difficult work. He just wants to decorate. We would unlock a power field generator. Okay, that's interesting. That would be a cool thing for Jeremiah to pick up. And we would unlock a new troop type. What are the rewards for the other thing? Just the big gun? Let's keep going with Videx, even though I think he is basically an idiot. And once again, we're going to take the same units. We're going to not use any canticles here, unless using the canticle would save a life. And I mean a real life, not a troop life. Oh god, I'm becoming like them. The potential for corruption in the tomb of Agrelek continues to vex me, Magos. Really, even after we installed all those air fresheners. The spreading of the incense was not enough? I fear not, Magos. The malevolence of the Necron is overwhelming. Observations on the Tech Cosmos, verse 68. We are derelict in our duty whenever we allow corruption to plague the minds of good men. That one doesn't sound so bad, but you have to remember how they define corruption. Also how they define good men, I suppose. Then what do you suggest? Our progress in the tomb makes it possible for us to install a system of Voxcasters in the structure. And what would that achieve? Lingua Technis prayers could be transmitted to the very heart of the Necron's resting place. Our troops would go everywhere, bathed in the sacred binary of the Omnissiah. Saying of the Princeps 65:4, when thou desirest to discourse purely, use binary. A novel concept, Lector Dogmatus. I appreciate that, that Faustinus is like, he's on our side. He comes at it in the way the player is going to come at it, despite the fact that you would expect he would be all in on this nonsense. I have considered your plan, Videx, and a cohort has been deployed to the area. I have personally selected the prayers of purification and translated them into broad-spectrum binary. Once the Voxcasters are active, the tomb will ring to the Omnissiah's word. I have the Voxcaster locations plotted, Magos. I am still uncertain if this is worth the risk to our people. One in possession of unaugmented emotional centers cannot appreciate the benefit of this operation. Gathalamorians 45-7. Above bullets, above blades. Care for your soul above all. Your concerns are noted, Kepra, but you have your orders. Yes, Magos. His will be done. All hail the Glow Cloud. Alright, our master's voice. Let's get out here and install a bunch of speakers to broadcast binary. The good news is, it's entirely possible the Necrons will understand this and be upset by it. Oh, foul! Could this be a place of Xenos worship? We have no data on their religious practices, but I retrieve it's probably dictates, right? Because it's... yeah, probably. 5312. Not all data should be acquired. This chamber contains a large slab of metal that resembles an altar, with images of glowering, skull-like Necron faces inscribed on the walls. That is creepy. Well, we could seal off the chamber and find another way around. We could destroy the altar with demolition charges, or we could just ritually defile it with rancid machine oil and, and a scattering of burned-out fuses. Boy, this'll upset them. I mean, I think this is the thing that's in character for the Adeptus Mechanicus to do, but this is very funny, so we're going to do that. It's petty is what it is. Situation analysis, study opportunity, religious fervor. Conclusion, disappointment. Logical choice, Magos. The creed of Mars should be the only faith on Silva Tenebris. And we have acquired a cognitive canister design. Target a troop and it gets +1 damage and 25 crit chance. The tech priests take great pleasure in reciting the litany of defilement over the altar and anointing it with the fluids of desecration, which, again, to be clear, is just some old oil we were carrying around. During this process, a mass of Xenos alloy shavings are discovered behind the slab. Perhaps this was not a place of worship at all, but a form of workshop. Okay, well, I mean, it's always good to get more gear designs. So we can interact with some more glyphs. I'm trying to figure, like, is it worth it to actually hit all the rooms in this tomb? It might be, because Blackstone's really, really valuable, and we don't get enough of it. So, like, the best path for that might be, we have to come in here. And then we go like that, maybe? Because I'm assuming when we hit the other marked room, the mission will end immediately. What have we? Ooh. Cataphren battle servitor armor, not thick enough. Castellans proving equally ineffective. Must find weakness before we're... Ah, it appears this Xenos form triggered a fragmented recording from Raysac. Indeed. It appears we'll have a tough time using heavily armored forces against this specimen. Maybe we can use their strength against them. Wise words, Dominus. Sorry, was I supposed to get strategy from that? How would I use his ability to pierce armor against him? Can I make them... I can't make them shoot each other. Maybe eventually we will be able to make them shoot each other? I don't know. The important thing is, I don't really care what their capabilities are, because we're just going to kill them all. I put Armor Guy in front, even though the armor probably isn't going to end up mattering here. We should definitely scan at least one of these to get some idea what we're dealing with, even though they each different instance of a Necron unit will have slightly different stats. But we can at least like get an idea. Okay, they have like 8-ish health. Well, I could just run over toward the thing, but I can't actually get to it. Position's a little awkward. Alright, I'm gonna move to here. We're gonna blast this guy to open up his stats as well. Once again, I'm forgetting. I should just be using the phosphor pistols to learn people's stats. And then, now that we know he has 2 points of armor, that makes me a little bit less inclined to run over there and power axe him. Well, I can't anyway. I only have 1 cognition point. Moving over there would spend it, and then I wouldn't be able to attack. We don't know for sure what their deal is, though. If they have only ranged weapons, we might be able to get an attack off when he moves. And the opportunity attack does not seem to cost a cognition point, based on what we saw last time. But our other character's gun requires 2 cognition to use, the big gun, right? And at the moment we could get that by sending out... Yeah, I'm gonna bank a cognition point here. Because I want to be in a position to... Hey, what? Hey, don't do that, I need those. Ooh, wow, that was lucky. And then he hit for only 1 damage, but he put acid on me. What does the acid do? I mean, I have some guesses based on, you know, having played a video game before. Right, give me this. Maybe when when it's his turn again, we'll be able to see the effect on him. And we can just blow this guy all the way up, right? He has energy armor, but this gun does... Wow, it does 2 to 11 damage. So actually, I have no idea if we can kill him or not. But it seems wasteful to shoot this guy with it. Can I find a position where I can see them both? Yes, I can. Alright. So let's just pop this dude real fast with the pistol. Okay, and apparently those guys actually die when you hit them. This will do 0 to 9 damage, so let's hope we get lucky. Okay. Turns out we did. Well, what else am I doing then? I guess we're waiting for more Necrons to show up? Yeah, Redditus, I know. We've already done a bunch of combats. Our presence has been detected. Not a big surprise on that one. Oh, flayed ones. Okay, I know a little bit about these guys. What is this vile mix of flesh and machine? Is this a form of Necron in its infant state? What has Scaevola got to say? Unsurety statement loaded. Unsure of life form progression path. Diagnosing possible outcomes, signs of degradation, deformed segmentation, and physiological deformities. Possible solutions: infant, disease, parasitic life form that represents form of ripped flesh. Should I continue? No, we don't need guesses. I wanted to know if you knew anything. I believe we are not the ones to diagnose Necron health, but instead be their executioners. Yes, the flayed ones are like draped in flesh and skin that probably they stole. My guess is that's somebody else's flesh and skin. I am mostly concerned for my troops' morale. There have been reports of Skitarii disappearing in these tombs, and I believe I now know why. Skitarii lives are less than Archaeotech, STC fragments, and the mission, I guess. How supportive of you, Redditus. Alright, I will say I don't know a lot about the capabilities of a flayed one. I know what they are, but this could be really bad. Maybe. Hard to say. Sort of wish I had a servo-skull left here. Well, we could move up and shoot him. Oh, he gets opportunity attacks too, see if we try to run through squares adjacent to him. So I guess we, like, move to here. Light him up with the gun. A little bit of damage and get his stats. And then, unfortunately, we can't actually hit him. I can move adjacent to him and hope that he tries to move away so we get the opportunity attack. Okay, and the acid is going to just deal us 1 damage at the end of each of the next 3 turns. But we could also just leave him right here because he's kind of providing defense for... Ouch. He's providing defense for Jeremiah. This is no, sorry. He is Jeremiah. Manarius is the one with all the guns. Unfortunately, we cannot reach a cognition point generator, so I probably just want to back off to a point where I can fire my pistol. Alright, if he triggers an opportunity attack from Jeremiah now, he is guaranteed to take damage. He is guaranteed to go down. I think I'm just going to run over here to a position where the other Necron probably cannot shoot me. Yeah, I think I'm behind that. Okay, it was a critical hit and everything. Oof, 3 damage even through the armor, huh? That must have been pretty close to his max. Oh, I wonder what this is supposed to represent. Unfortunately, we get very limited information about enemy capabilities. I am definitely bringing in a servitor. I think we can afford to spend them pretty aggressively, it seems like. It's like, do I want to run over here and get... I suppose we should start with the pistol. Let's just learn some things. Plus, this is free damage. Ah, that's inconvenient. 2 points of physical armor. Well... just run over next to him. There's no sense in running for the cognition point, since I'd have to then spend another cognition point just to get over here. I'm going to have my servo-skull grab this. Since there's definitely no way we're getting that one in any other way. And then, yeah, I'm just going to run up on this guy and melee him. Oh, man, 2 damage, huh? That's unfortunate. Well, he's going to get his... This guy's going to get his turn. And then we have to finish this one off. Because it is definitely the case that Jeremiah could go down to 2 hits. I don't think I don't think this guy's shot will be enough. In fact, I can probably take cover behind his buddy, right? We saw that it seems like standing units... I forgot about the acid. But it seems like standing units provide line of sight blocking. Come on, non-lethal damage? Awesome. I really like it when people hit the servitors if they don't kill them. And I kind of think I'm just going to leave him right here. His job is mostly to be a distraction and a blocker for that guy. Alright, and then you need to run around here and deal some serious damage. I guess if I can see them, they can... If I can shoot them, they can shoot me. So I gotta figure out where I actually want to stand. Actually, you know what? I think I want to present him as a target, right? I would much rather have him get attacked than Jeremiah at this point. I really wish I had the extra points to actually take some of those healing items. I didn't think they were going to be, you know, crucial at this point, but clearly I underestimated the danger. Alright, I'm going to give this guy the big lightning gun. We got to make sure he dies. Okay, that's why we did that, so that we would know if we needed to also do this. That cognition point. And then, I have my servo-skull up. So we could use it to just deal 1 damage to that dude. I don't think that's probably necessary. The question is, do I want to deal 1 damage to him and reveal his stats, or do I want to grab this cognition point? Because we're going to be at 3 at the start of our next turn, unless I deploy a new servitor, which I probably will. Right, because I want to give this guy something to shoot at. So then we'll only have 2 points left, but that's still enough to attack with the big gun. Although it's not enough to attack with Jeremiah's axe and the big gun. Yeah, okay. We actually may need all of these cognition points. Okay. Oh, I wasn't even thinking about the point we were going to get from that. Servitors died. Do not worry. Troops are cannon fodder, designed to protect your tech priests from enemy attacks. Without tech priests, your mission would surely fail. Without troops, it's just kind of whatever. Alright, didn't get close enough to disable my melee or my ranged weapons, which I really appreciate. Well, this is certainly a step up in terms of danger. Can I bring in more than 1 servitor in a turn? Yeah, this might actually be worthwhile. I'm worried. You know what, I want to position him such that I know he definitely won't be blocking our line of sight. But in a position where he makes that guy's turn really awkward. So we probably don't actually need to worry about this Necron. I think the battle might be over by the time his turn is available. So let's just move around a little bit. Get a read on this dude. Okay, he's dead. Oh, I didn't even notice this over here. Shoot, I would like that very much. I may not have left myself an easy way to get that. Okay, that guy is toast if he attempts to... Oh no! The servitor is blocking my path forward. Well, we probably shouldn't have spent a cognition point in any case here. I think it's fine to just end the turn. Alright, that was the last point of damage from the acid, right? The opportunity attack does the thing. You need to smack him 1, and then we can run the... run Menarius over to here. Get the cognition point and open up our line of fire. And hopefully really mess this guy up. Let's get the read on him first. Okay. Apparently that's all that was necessary. I guess I removed the threat before getting the Blackstone cache. It's weird that the game gives you all the cognition points from the environment, because obviously your troops would just walk around and pick them all up, but it doesn't let you hit the caches. Maybe they become inoperable with no Necrons around. Sayings of the Archmagi, Appendix 4. Such sweet music is the chatter of binary that has no tongue to lie. Ensure the volume is sufficient, Magus. Alright, the first Voxcaster is in place. It immediately begins transmitting the complex binary of Lingua Technis. There's a good couple of comments on the first episode, by the way, about Lingua Technis, and just some stuff about the Warhammer 40k universe, in case you are not familiar with these ideas. So we could turn the volume up to maximum and let the enemy tremble before his word, which I assume would push forward the Tomb's Awake level. Leave the volume the same because the prayers are loud enough as it is. Or increase the volume, a little bit. Just take it up a little bit. I mean, you know what we have to do here. Principe Logica 22.4. Let his word be exalted to the 11th degree. Of course the Voxcasters go to 11. Alright, even more Blackstone. The Voxcaster's maximum volume turns out to be tremendous indeed, shattering some of the Necron sarcophagi in the area. The warrior forms contained within will not be attacking in the foreseeable future. Why would anyone not turn it all the way up? Let's, I wanna actually scour this whole place, if we can. We need Blackstone really badly. The Cohort's communications pick up a transmission played in a binary-adjacent Xenos language that can be interpreted as a distress signal. It is originating from the next chamber, and is transmitted only in the very local area. A distress symbol in a Xenos language, huh? We could just listen to it. We could head over there, or we could attempt to answer the transmission. I mean, it's probably a trap, right? I don't know. I don't know where we are relative to, like, space. Is this a place where, like, there could be a non-Necron race who are out here and in trouble? We're not really, as the Imperium of Man, fond of the other races, as you might imagine, but I think it's in our best interest to know what's going on here. Let's enter the chamber, and if we end up just getting into a fight, we'll, oh no, combat. I'm not worried. A ship that Agrilec's fleet destroyed, perhaps. It sounds just like the Void Admiral to record its last moments and replay it for his amusement. The chamber contains a flickering hologram of a ship's bridge, with a captain of unknown Xenos species making the transmission as the ship breaks apart around him. Well, that's unsettling, but also there was a bunch of Blackstone in that room. Okay. I'm a little worried about this. There were kind of a lot of Necrons in the last battle. Borderline too many. Okay, let's press the button that says Glyph on it. A single port designed for a Necron canoptic creature extrudes from the device. Unfortunately, we no longer have access to the glyph that we know gives healing. Well, I mean, this is kind of the same thing, right? We have the same... If we assume that this means, like, a port that you can plug into... Alright, the machine coughed up a bunch of Blackstone, presumably that we're supposed to use for repairs, because it's expecting whoever operates it to be made of Blackstone. I think that's what we're made of, or what Necrons are made of. It might just be what the structure's made of, actually. This panel controls a heavy door leading to a treasure room beyond, which is filled with cognition. If we can work out the right commands, we can reap the rewards within. Well, I think if we're assuming that this is like plug in and get stuff, then we probably want to hit the other one this time. Ooh, no. A container of some sort that seemingly has raw binary seething within. Clearly, it is of Xenos origin. Sparks of data leak through the aged sealant used to contain the treasure within, and we took 3 damage from it. The narration didn't really cover how we took 3 damage, but okay. Alright, let's loop around and hit this room before we leave. Yeah, so it seems like there's no awakening cost or anything to going into rooms that you've already explored. Necrons reanimate 1 turn faster, not really a concern. One of the Voxcasters being transported by the Cohort begins emitting strains of music from an unknown source. The music sounds like it is of human origin, but it could interfere with the binary transmissions. Well, sorry, are we going to shame it? Broadcast an admonition to the Skitarii force, demanding... We're assuming that this is not mysterious in origin, but just being broadcast by our other troops who are bored. Find the source of the music through examining the local noosphere, or transmit a stream of counter data to cancel out the music. We should probably just figure out where it's coming from and turn it off, rather than trying to ECM it. I shall chastise the offender in person. Maximus Metallica 7612. From such small heresies are great apostasies made. The music proves to stem from a non-standard cranial augment in one of the Skitarii soldiers, which he has altered to play music. For some reason, figuring that out has decreased Necron initiative. Well, alright. I'll take it, that seems positive. The Necron tomb is trying to defend itself. Clearly our mission is working. Aphorisms 94:13. The enemy rushes to action when our ministrations cause him fear. A swarm of tiny scarab-like constructs emerges from the apertures in the walls and begins scurrying all over the Voxcaster, chewing through its casings with their steel mandibles. Well, we have to obviously stop that. We could retrieve it before it is destroyed and deploy it elsewhere. We could clear away the scarabs with our melee weapons, or we could clear away the scarabs with the righteous application of flame. Listen, ordinarily, when they offer me the opportunity to use the flamers, I'm going to use the flamers, but in this case, we probably don't want to destroy the Voxcaster, so let's just wait in there and give them the axe. Killing the scarabs is a messy business, and some of the cohort are infested by the creatures and forced to divest themselves of clothing before the biting constructs can be removed. The Voxcaster, however, is saved. Okay, this guy taking damage is, like, pretty close to an ideal way for that to work out. The final Voxcaster is installed. The binary prayers flow through the tomb, filling both real space and the local noosphere with the words of Workshop exalting the Omnissiah and the Creed of Mars. I assumed there was going to be another battle. The unholy lair of the alien now rings to the words of the Omnissiah. Epigrams of Saint Eucelsis 389. Protect the shield of the mind, and the body will be shielded thereby. The Necron can strike at our minds as well as our bodies, and we must protect both. In this, Lector Dogmatus, I agree with you. Maybe only in this, but hey, common ground, right? I hope we are of the same mind in other matters too, Magus. Our exploration of Silva Tenebris should be executed with a view to the destruction of all traces of the alien. I have not yet decided if we should commit to such extremes, Videx. I feel multiple emotional prerogatives as well as logical analyses, all competing for primacy in my neurovaults. Our mission here may not be as simple as you think. Just be ready to make the right choice when the time comes, Magos. Recall the words of Fabricator General Plutonus. The eyes of the Omnissiah are ever upon us. Man, what if Videx had to have one of his own thoughts? So every point of health that we lose costs us 10 Blackstone in repair costs. But every Necron we kill is worth some Blackstone. It turns out we don't bother to repair the troops. We'll just cycle this guy out and get a new one in there. But I'm excited about having a new troop type. We did not make nearly as much Blackstone that time as I would have liked. We're working on it. One more mission without using a canticle, and then we can feel free to unleash our full power. But I think that... Well, let's real quick dive in here and spend some more upgrades. So first of all, let's look at our new Skitarii Vanguard Alpha. They have a Taser Goad, which deals area damage, and a single target melee attack, which upon hitting the target turns into a cone area attack. Okay, so they have Chain Lightning. That's pretty cool. And, I guess Jeremiah's a little bit less upgraded. What's his next available thing? Allows him to use his servo-skull to pull all of the cog points from a multiple point source. That's a little bit less pressing than some of the other options. To the point where we might even have him like go into another tree. Like if we had him keep coming down here. Cognition point whenever the Lex Mechanic kills stuff. Scanners have minus cooldown. Overcharged cognition is pretty powerful, but you know what? Honestly, we may have him specialize elsewhere. I think he got the most important part of being a Lex Mechanic. So what's next for you? You probably will not be able to afford 2 upgrades, so we could get another piece of gear, but we probably won't be able to get Angered Spirit. So yeah, let's go back to Jeremiah and maybe have him start picking up some other stuff. So let's say, you know, he might become more of a focused melee guy. Let's have him pick up some extra movement. And this means he has another point of augment capacity, so we can plug in one of these healing items. We probably don't need the power field generator. Yeah, I think we're going to go for a healer. So the question is, 3 turn cooldown for 2 HP with no cost, or 2 turn cooldown for 2 to 4 HP with 1 cost. We were running pretty tight on cognition points on that last mission, but this really is a lot more healing. How much healing do we really need, though? I'm going to try not to strain our cognition points any further than they are already strained. So by the end of this process, our tech priests are going to look remarkably different. And then we do have 175. We could buy a piece of explorator equipment for him. What are our options? Obviously, we don't need a new head augment. 3 HP and a physical armor, 2 HP and 3 movement, or +1 to every source of physical damage. For right now, let's get the leg augments. Let's go really deep on this guy being a good runner. Okay, so it doesn't have a great layout of just like his stats right now, which is a shame. Oh, that's a rename option. Okay, we could come up with some names. There was some names that would maybe make them a little bit more obviously different from one another, but I'd really love it if I could just see his... Yeah, I guess there's no way to just look at all of his stats right now. Oh well. We're getting more specialized, we're getting better at our jobs. Hopefully we're going to pick up some more dudes sometime soon. Another tech priest in the party would be very helpful. But that's going to be it for us for today. Thank you all so much for watching. Come back next time when I assume we continue to decorate this Necron crypt until it feels like home. And we'll see you then.